Welcome everybody. I am Dr. Ahmed Mahdi. I am lecturer in internal medicine in Chams University and doing a PhD in the Australia. Today, I will let me some few minutes to discuss my abstract, or it is my paper because this paper published this last month. So let me chance to make spot for my paper. My paper discussing the issue of effect of autoimmune diseases on vascular function, or what's called premature atherosclerosis. Maybe this word is not strange or not easy for internist, so I will explain what is meant by atherosclerosis in autoimmune disease. So, my paper mainly discussed the relationship between chronic inflammation in form of autoimmune diseases in relation to the vascular dysfunction. Vascular dysfunction, for your knowledge, it is mean of atherosclerosis. Or I will start from what is mean of atherosclerosis. Atherosclerosis previously we described is as hyperlipidemia or hypercholesterolemia mean equal atherosclerosis. But now, no. The new theory of atherosclerosis is changed. Now, atherosclerosis is considered chronic immune disease due to discovery of immune cells, T cells and T cells, and discovery of cytokines in atherosclerosis plaque. So, the old theory of atherosclerosis is changed to a new theory. My study about autoimmune diseases as example of chronic inflammation. Chronic inflammation that's happened in infection like TB, hepatitis, or any chronic inflammation. So I study the effect of chronic inflammation in addition to the autoimmune disease. We discovered something related to what's called endothelial dysfunction. If you know, endothelial is the innermost layer of the any blood vessel. Endothelium is very important layer. It secretes out of mediator. The most important mediator is nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is, if you know, nitric oxide is the leader of endothelium. Nitric oxide prevent atherosclerosis, prevent platelet aggregation, prevent leukocyte adhesion to the wall. So if the nitric oxide is okay, endothelium is okay. Any defect, any problem in nitric oxide, there is endothelial dysfunction. So cellular function, this function of nitric oxide, and cell function, any disturbance in nitric oxide. So I study the effect of disturbance nitric oxide on the endothelium, on the blood vessel autoimmune disease. I discovered with my study that most of the endothelial function affected by this inflammation. You know that inflammation with cytokines, chemokines, and cells initiate or can potentiate the effect of atherosclerosis. I have another study, another paper. I said atherosclerosis is two types. Primary atherosclerosis, this happens with age, with social or worse familial tendency, and secondary atherosclerosis. And my second paper, I called it autoimmune atherosclerosis, as atherosclerosis is immune diseases. With autoimmune diseases is autoimmune atherosclerosis. So, autoimmune atherosclerosis happen autoimmune diseases. My study here, I consulted about rheumatoid arthritis and primary Sjogren syndrome, as this disease is common in Europe. Okay, but my specialty is systemic lupus. But here I found rheumatoid arthritis and Sjogren syndrome. So I compared between these two type of people to the control. I found that number one, all the people for autoimmune disease are mostly, because I found rheumatoid arthritis, 80% of people has hypertension and 40% of Sjogren syndrome have hypertension, as regard to control 20%. So hypertension is major element of endothelial dysfunction in autoimmune disease. Because if you know, nitric oxide is the potent vasodilator. So when the potent vasodilator oxide is affected, so the reverse will happen, vasoconstriction. So hypertension. So hypertension, I say it is the early hypertension is the early sign of atherosclerosis disease. Nitric oxide disturbance lead to vasoconstriction, lead to hypertension. Then hypertension is as a mechanical factor lead to atherosclerosis. I forgot to say, atherosclerosis is formed of two parts, athero and sclerosis. Athero means atheromatous plaque, which happen and can be detected by ultrasound in the neck, most commonly ultrasound. Ultrasound detect atheromatous plaque or atheroma. Sclerosis is the stiffness of the blood vessel. So the blood vessel, which is elastic fiber, converted to rigid tube. Sclerosis. So this rigid tube can accommodate any disturbance in the hemostasis of the blood of the body, in the decrease or increase blood pressure. So the rigid tube can modulate or can deal with this change in blood pressure. So atherosclerosis happen in the elderly or happen in the autoimmune diseases is the beginning of cardiovascular disease. If you see this diagram, all of us know that old theory in very low protein secreted by the liver converted to LDL lipoprotein protein. Then lipoprotein protein engulfed by macrophages to start the process of atherosclerosis. But now we discover it's what's called our first LDL must convert it to oxidized LDL. LDL is natural product in our body, but oxidized LDL is new product, it's antigen. So when LDL converted to oxidized LDL, then it's become foreign antigen, so it's engulfed by macrophages. Then the process of atherosclerosis is started. Macrophages with effect of T helper 7 and T helper 1, which potentiate atherosclerosis. On the other hand, T regulatory cell type of T cell inhibit the atherosclerosis. So you find effect of T cell or immune cell on the atherosclerosis. So with T helper regulator 1-7, macrophages converted to foam cell. Foam cell is the main point of atherosclerosis. Foam cell in the penetrate endothelial wall and lead to endothelial dysfunction, so depression of cytokines and chemokines, and start the process of atherosclerosis, atheromatous plaque, and stiffness. Then atherosclerosis is the first point of cardiovascular diseases, which I said hypertension, chronic heart diseases, and most of disease affected by this atherosclerosis. Then I said again, chronic inflammation, whatever inflammation, HIV, hepatitis, TB, chronic inflammation lead to endothelial dysfunction, so cytokines, then hypertension, then mechanical factor, atherosclerosis, stiffness, then atherosclerosis, then cardiovascular disease. So at the end, thank you.